We'll do a quick outlook for the upcoming week. Once again, I am still doing the Pass Your Eval challenge in Discord for free. That's for people that are looking to pass their funded accounts or evaluation accounts. All right, so let's take a look at some things that we have going on for this upcoming week. We'll take a look at futures first. Essentially what we have going on in the 20-day hourly is we do have a slight breakdown. We are respecting a prior level. We'll take a look at that close up here soon. What I'd like to say is that yesterday we pumped really hard, and then today we were red, but we were just retracing that move. So as you can see here, the lows of today fell inside this buy side imbalance, sell side inefficiency. It was also the lower value area. So this is a P day, okay? And then so following a P day, we do expect a B. So nothing to fret about, but if we lose 39.20, then we probably have cause for concern for more continuation down, and we'll target some relative equal lows. And I'll show you that in a different chart. So as you can see here on SPY, right now we're at the 200 SMA and the yearly point of control, which is 396.82. All right, so the area I was talking about are these lows here at 373.76. That's that lower value area. So if we lose, we'll say 387.71, then we would want to target 373.76. All right, purge on those numbers. Now, what I would say is for bulls, what they'd like to see is to reclaim the 200 SMA and the point of control. So that's 396.82. Once again, if you reclaim 396.82, you are going to target this high here. That would be at 408.21. I think personally we will gap fill, and then we'll probably hit this point of control of 397.94. The hourly has been much more consistent from a volume profile as well as a price action trading standpoint. If you remember, this was that premium draw and liquidity box that we drew. At first, we were saying, let's short if we hit this upper value area. But then as we went deeper into it, we said, we might take this, we might print in this area, run this high. That didn't end up happening so far. Okay, so our original analysis from a few weeks ago was short any poke above this. And we scaled into some light puts. They did go from our fill was 2.5, and I think my highest fill on the sell side was like 6.8. So those were the 400 puts that expired yesterday, Friday. But while we're in here and we're taking a look at SPY, let's also take a look at some of our major names. We're gonna rifle through these pretty fast. So Apple, we're at the upper value area. I don't mind this for a short here. We'd be targeting 149.49 and then potentially back down to our major dark pool level at 135.43. You could also say just a return to 152.48 into 148.67 would be good. Right, now you can see on the smaller time span, you do have this large imbalance in between these high volume nodes. So that's something to keep in mind. We're going to go from Apple right to Google. Okay, Google, nice little double bottom, pump up. And right where it rejected was the 200 SMA, that's 101.62-ish. 98.86 point of control, 114.79 is that upper value area. Now, most of these other things we have looked at have touched this upper value area. I'm not a perma bear, but certain names I'm just not trusting with going longs, and Google's one of them. So if you want to play a bounce off 97, you can. But I'm just personally not playing it. So we'll look at Amazon. Amazon, still chop mode, 98.95, 94.19 is the point of control, 200 SMA is at 108.39. If you're looking for a push on it, you would target 123.99. Okay, if you're looking for a bounce, you're looking at 96.45. All right, we'll take a look at Tesla. Okay, so Tesla's currently at 180.13. We bought around 110. Sold a little early at, I think it was like 177, but point of control is 196.73. It's currently below that. Lower value is at 153.01. 200 SMA is 218. Okay. Um, how would I play this? Well, we can pretty much call this gap filled right down here. I do think it is setting up juicy for another move down, but I wouldn't look to short it right here. I would actually like to short it at 183.68 or 188.35. All right, that would seem better to me. And if we're also looking at names, we're going to look at NVIDIA. NVIDIA, crazy pump, stupid. But what did it do? It not only gap filled from the first breakdown, but it actually entered as optimal trade entry short, 265.76, 263.99. It's that high there. And now it's beginning, a displacement of a move down. So I actually like an NVIDIA short, and I like it short back down to this level here. So you'd be targeting first 237.57 into 212, and a rundown on that would be down to 195.36. I think this is a pretty good name to short, actually. Let's go into the options for NVIDIA, and just for this coming week, say the 24th. And if we want to look at something juicy, we could look at 240, 242.5 puts. Got a lot of volume here on these 240s. The implied vol really isn't bad. But yeah, I would definitely look to either sell call like bearish call credit spreads, or look to long some puts. If you give yourself more time, it'd definitely be better. Let's take a look at AMD. Okay, AMD, similar, had liftoff. You'd be looking for a return back down to 90.67, as well as a potential failure down to 87.56 into 82.91. Okay, so that's your bearish target. If it wants to keep running like this, like it is, your obvious price target is 102.84, which isn't that far off, and then maybe a run on this high here at 105.62. You do have a gap fill still at 119.30, well, 119.02, let's say. Just some upper price targets to keep in mind. Let's take a look at a possible move into energy. So we have huge displacement down on end phase today. Okay, end phase was down, what is that number? 8%. So you can see as it knifed down, it did start to catch. You'd be looking for a move back up to 200. I really do not mind adding commons in this name into an IRA or a Roth IRA. I feel like once money starts coming into energy as a hedge against everything else that's going on. Speaking of that, let's look at Goldman Sachs. So right now, I don't want to call it a banking crisis, but it is kind of a liquidity crunch, which everyone's freaking out about, but it's actually bullish for the larger banks. If a big bank or if a small bank goes under, it's good for a big bank. They'll absolve those customers. They will, get a larger consumer base. So what are we looking at? Well, right now it's at 303.54, and the lower value area is 298.63. Okay. Now, I hate catching knives, but if we go back here on like a 3-year weekly, 242.34 is that lower value area. And you can see this high volume node and this high volume node. It's right in between. So I really do not mind buying around 250. And I also wouldn't mind you DCAing in at 289.45. I think over the next 5 years, you'll see that this is actually an opportunity. So don't waste it. And then we can also look at JPM. Since it's in a similar boat, it's right at its 200 SMA. It's in a Pretty unique spot. 115.08 would be the absolute low for the point of control, and down into 111.49. You have this large displacement here, so 105.12 would be the final like possible bounce spot. But same situation. I would hang bids on it at 118, 111, and 105. And let's just, for our own sake, let's look at a 3-year weekly, 87.53. We can see where this bounced here, 99.95. Look at this large volume. I think we'll see this level hold, this 3-year weekly point of control. Okay. We'll take a look at some other names. Let's take a look at coin. Coin's at its upper value area. So, crypto's been pumping. I do not understand that. I do not understand the crypto pump. 75, not a bad spot for a short. Your risk would be running this high here, 87.87. But really not a bad play here on coin. Then we have Affirm. Let's look at some retail favorites. 9.49. Its 52-week low is 8.62. You could DCA into this. Not a great company with everything going on, but better than some. You would look to push 1301 into 1872. Sell half your commons at 100%. Book it. Just hold it for forever until it wants to push back up into about $30 or into 35.27. Let's take a look at an even trashier one. That'll be Upstart. So Upstart's 52-week low is 1201. It's now at 1523. The lower value area is at 1232. So same thing. Buy it, couple hundred shares at a time if you can, and just short calls against it until it wants to pump. And then when it does pump, secure your cost basis. And what you're targeting is this gap fill here at 77.84 in case it does want to short squeeze. Okay. It's a pretty low risk play, other than the fact that, they could go bankrupt. But it's probably more likely that they get bought out than go bankrupt. I think 90% of their business is done with Credit Karma, and Credit Karma isn't going to really go anywhere. So we'll take a look at Square. So Square, we bought at like 54. Right now, it's just pretty much marking down, bouncing between the 200 SMA and a little bit up, but below the lower value or upper value area. 63.36 would be a good load spot. Yeah, that's the yearly point of control. If you do go long on it, you're going to target a run on 84.29 into 114.19. Okay, so that would be your upper target. All right, and then we'll look at PayPal, and then we'll call it a night. PayPal lower value area is about 71, and it's trading below it. Yearly point of control 74.37. This is pretty range bound, but you could say, all right, if it gets above the yearly point of control, I will long it, and we will target 81.94 into 91.87. Okay, because this explosive move up has been traded through kind of like a giant mitigation block, right, in the grand scheme of things. But if I look at this on a monthly, I mean, it's just chop. That's weekly. Let's throw this out to a month. Okay. I mean, I don't know. Not a good example. Not a good example of a mitigation block. But you get what I'm saying. There's just accumulation going on here. And I said that we would be done, but I want to look at this one biotech name. So let's take a look at Sava. And Sava, I would look to go long right around 21.17. And that's another name where you will just set limit sells at 42.47 into about $60 a share. Okay. If it hits, it hits. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I mean, I've seen this name close at like $30 and open at 100 the following morning. I was actually in 100 calls. I think they 40 bagged. let's look at Coinbase, since we were talking about crypto. Coinbase is at its upper value area at 74.98. You could say that, like, don't short strength, don't short this breakout. I don't see it as being a breakout because I don't understand why crypto's pumping. So what I'd be mindful is a break above 89. If it breaks above 89, you're clearly targeting, oh geez, am I about to say this out loud? 117 into 183. However, if I shorted it with this being my stop right here, I would be targeting back down to 44.85. All right, don't forget to like, subscribe, join the Discord. It's free. Do the evaluation challenges next month. I'm starting up the $1,000 cash account challenge. Last time we did it was pretty good. I think we took 1 to 17. So finished the month at 17,000. And then the time before that, we did 1 to 22,000. Yada, yada, yada. Okay. Enjoy your weekend.